Hey everyone, good morning, and welcome to Morning Tea with me, Tracy V. Allen. You know what Morning Tea is all about. We're here to motivate, inspire, and educate you first thing in the morning so that you can go forth with the rest of your day inspired to do something great and move a little differently in your life, right? So today I have with me Jan Edwards-Sykes, and I met Jan about 2.5 years ago at a workshop, and we just kind of stayed in contact via LinkedIn. When I met her, she was doing something as a side hustle. We're going to talk about it today, right? She was doing
Yes,
something as a side hustle. She was working her corporate job, and I happened to see a post on LinkedIn last month that she left her corporate job and she is now taking her side hustle and making it her full time gig, which I think is absolutely amazing. So we're going to get into all of that story. But before we do, Jan, do you want to go ahead and introduce yourself to the audience? Tell them a little bit about who you are and how we're getting here today.
sure. I mean, it's so exciting. Thank you for having me on. And so cheers to you. And it's so funny because I made this mug right
Oh,
before this because I was like, oh my gosh, Tracy said have a mug so we can cheers. I was like, I don't even have a cool mug for my own business. Yeah.
right.
So like Tracy said, we met about 2.5 years ago at a workshop. And I have been in corporate America forever, right? Probably since I was little. But crafting has always been my thing. Even when I was little, my mom and dad could tell you that I was really crafty. And so it just kind of spiraled into making things for other folks and having centerpieces for people's, parties and different things like that. And so I really didn't get the inspiration until in the late after I had my youngest daughter, uh,
Mm,
Brianna, and so in 1996. And from there, I said, well, I should really just kind of solidify this and make it a business. And so that's how I came up with the name Two Girls LLC because it's named after my two daughters. So
okay.
that's really kind of how I got to a business, a true business.
And this was back in 1996, you said, correct?
Yeah, so 1996, I really, again, just kind of named the business, but I didn't really
Mhm,
go forward with the business. And then in 2000, well, probably, yeah, I filed with the state, but again, didn't really follow up with it, right? Kind of just played with it, um, and still worked my corporate job. I was in
mhm,
school getting my master's. I was working a part-time job at the Bloomfield Rec Center. So I had a multitude of things going on, juggling a lot of things. And
mhm,
so then in 2008, I finally said, you know what? People keep saying it, like go forward, do your business, focus on it. And
mhm,
so then I really registered again, re-registered with the state of Connecticut, with the Secretary of State.
mhm.
And from there, I got my vendor's license because I was doing a lot of vending at that time. And then in December 4th, 2020,
Mhm.
I that was my last day in corporate America, and I walked out of there feeling so energized, Tracy. And, you know, um, I was, I laughed like the 2 weeks prior to me leaving, because I did give a 2 weeks notice.
Okay.
Prior to me leaving, I was laughing with my friends every day. I was like, oh my God, can you believe I quit my corporate job? Like, have I lost my mind? Like,
Yeah,
so
you get that feeling. You do get that
yes,
feeling of, I have totally lost my mind. I need
yes,
to see somebody.
yes, yes. And that's how I felt. And I said, and one of my friends said to me, like, she lives in Virginia. And I said to her, I said, can you believe I gave my notice? And she said, you did? And she said, you're really going to go forward with doing your business full time? I said, yes. Can you believe it? And so
Right.
I said to her, I said, I'm a little nervous giving my notice. And so she gave me a beautiful prayer. And she said, I want you to pray over this. And I want you to say this prayer before you hand your notice in. And at
Okay.
that point in time, when I said that prayer and I gave my notice, I was like at a peace. Like it was like, I don't know, the waves of the ocean opened up or something. It was like, Jan, you're good. You're gonna be all right.
Okay, so let's talk about that. Let's talk about what got you to the point where you felt Two Girls LLC was at its point where it can sustain your lifestyle and you can leave the security, because that's what a lot of people stay in their jobs for, right? It's the
Yes.
security of knowing that you're getting a paycheck, whether it's every week or bi-weekly, monthly, whatever it is. You got the benefits. Like, people don't think you can get benefits outside having a job, right?
Yes.
So, and seriously, that's what keeps a lot of people grounded to their
Yes.
jobs, is that they feel like if they leave their jobs, they're not going to have any retirement, they're not going to have insurance. Well, insurance is not just sold to employers of
Exactly.
big corporations. Individuals can get it too, right? But
Yeah.
tell us, what is it that really got you to the point where you felt that Two Girls LLC was at its point when you felt secure enough that you could leave the security of your corporate job and dive into this full time? Because I really want you to tell that story, because I know there are a lot of people who are currently in that situation where they're like, I just can't leave this job, but
Oh,
I really want to do my passion over here. So take us down that road.
again, Tracy, I'm pinching myself because I'm crazy, I think, at times, because in reality, I don't know if I've really sat down and really thought about,
Process.
yes, right? I don't know if I processed it fully, right? Is this sustainable, right? But it is.
Mhm.
And so I say 2020, as bad as COVID was,
Mhm.
for a lot of things, for, deaths and everything else, and just, being in the home, being in the house, confined, it really brought me to a place that, am I happy in corporate America anymore? And you're home now, right? And
Mhm.
you're working at home. And I got to a point where corporate America, my job was really, really busy.
Mhm.
I got to a point where Two Girls was really, really busy. And I have a mentor. I call her my mentor. She was my manager at my
Mhm.
last company, but
Mhm.
her and I just, we've bonded so much, and she stepped out on faith the year prior.
Oh, wow.
Yes. And so she's in Atlanta. And so her and I just talked through everything. So I started working on this mentally, that
Mhm.
I was going to leave corporate America in 2019
Mhm.
when she left. And I kept saying, nope, I can't do it, right? Nope, I got to stay here for my team. Nope, I have to stay here for the paycheck. Nope, I have to stay here for the benefits. So all those things that, you're saying, people are saying, I can't leave, right? Because of
Mhm.
those things. 2020 hits, we talk about, right? I move forward to 2020. 2020 hits, COVID hits, and I just saw so many of my friends and family members and other family members passing away and never getting to fulfill their dream.
Right.
And so it really hit with an emotional
Mhm.
more than anything else. And I said to myself, I've been wanting to do my business full time for such a long time, but was so scared to step out on faith. And I
Mhm.
said, either I do it now or I'm never going to do it, right? I'm going to stay in corporate America and just kind of be there. Not mentally really anymore, just physically.
Mhm.
Because I know that when I get home at night from at 6 o'clock, right? Although we're working from home, I was back in the office because I had a job that I needed to probably go into the office more often. And I did Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Mondays and Fridays. I just felt like, I'll stay home. But Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, I was going back into the office, and I would get home mentally and physically drained from so much work that I had to do, that I would get home and Two Girls was busy. And now I'm staying up to 2 o'clock in the morning.
Right.
And so for me, it became a physical thing, right? Not just
Mhm.
mental, but physical. Can I endure this? Can I sustain this? And I'm proud to say my age, right? I'm 54 years old. Can I maintain that life and
Mhm.
not get physically sick of
Right.
burning the candle at both ends? And
Yes.
so I had to weigh the pros with the cons. And again, I really talked to my I call her again my mentor in Atlanta and say, you know, I have to take this step, and I'm going to take this step. And she's like, no, you're not. I said, yes, I am. And she said, no. She said, I don't believe you. She said, you said this in 2019. I don't believe you.
I know.
I said, watch and see,
Mhm.
because I was at a point where I was more concerned about Two Girls without the steady paycheck, right? Without the benefits than I was with the steady paycheck and the benefits. And
Okay.
so when you start to look at that, and I'm going to do like an analogy, like when you start to look at that, what it looks like, my focus was more over here with two girls than it was
Mhm.
with corporate America. And so I gave her 3 dates and I said to her, this is the date I'm going to leave. I'm going to leave, right? And she said, okay. She said, I'm going to hold you to it. I'm going to look and see. I'll wait for that phone call. So the first date was in September 7th. So September
Mhm.
7th was my 4 years at the organization. So I said,
Okay.
that's the day I'm going to do it.
Mhm.
And so on my anniversary. And so I didn't because I was overseeing a certain project and it wasn't finished yet.
Mhm.
And so then I said, okay, when that finishes, that's the date. And she said, okay, I'm not going to pressure you on it. You just let me know. And I said, I will. So that date came, and I said it was Friday the 13th, November 13th. At that,
Oh wow.
yes. And I said that was going to be the day. That's going to be the day. And so I felt I couldn't leave my team. And so I said 2 more weeks
Mhm.
on November 27th, I think it was, right? I can't remember the exact date. And I said, I'm going to do it that Monday because that's when the project finally ended.
Okay.
And so she said, I'm not going to ask you. She said, I'm not going to say anything. She said, you'll let me know. And I said, I
Mhm.
will. So she texted me that morning and she said, hey, talk to me. What's going on? And I said,
Mhm.
I haven't done it yet. Give me
Mhm.
time. I'll let you know. So later on that day, I text my manager and I said, hey, can we speak? And he didn't call me back. And
Mhm.
so, the day got away from both of us, I'll say. And the next morning he called and I said to him, I said, with sincere regret, I'm giving my notice. And he was shocked because
Good.
he was really shocked because I think he thought I was calling to talk about how the project ended. What
Mhm.
really was, I was ending the project of being in corporate America.
Mhm.
And so, yes, people will be concerned about, will I have that steady paycheck? Will I have the benefits, right? And yes, that's a big concern for myself also, right? But there's so many resources out there and grants, and SBA is tremendous, and all these different avenues, and the Hartford Entrepreneurial Center, I've been working with them, right? So yes, I am concerned that I'm not making six figures anymore.
Of
But you
course,
know what?
that's a valid concern.
It is
We
a
don't want
valid
to discount that. That is an absolutely valid concern. That you have bills to pay, you have your mortgage, your car note, just
yes,
living life, right?
yes,
And nobody wants to be stressed over money. So I do get it. Okay, so let me ask. I mean, you can tell me if it's too personal, but did you, when you decided mentally that you were being pulled in too many different directions and you really just wanted to focus on your passion, right? Did you start putting extra money aside as a cushion? You did not. Oh,
no. So
okay.
I'm cushionless right now.
Oh no.
So I say I'm cushionless, but you know what?
But you're
I'm
standing in faith.
but I'm yes, and I'm not stressed, right?
Right. Okay, well that's great. That's the good part. You're not stressed.
Yes.
Yeah.
I'm not stressed, and I say, and I always told my children this, right? And I don't know if, they probably just thought I was not a cool mom, right? By saying this, that if you follow your passion, the money will come
Absolutely. I agree 100% with that.
because your love will.
It may be some rough roads
Yes.
ahead.
Yes.
I'm nobody saying it's gonna be easy. There are gonna be some
Exactly.
rough roads ahead. But
Exactly.
eventually, when the ceiling bursts, it will rain down on you,
Yes.
literally.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I wholeheartedly believe that. And I feel that, and I always said this to um uh my ex-spouse, right?
Mhm.
We used to say we worked for the paycheck. We didn't work for the passion, right?
Mhm.
Because you get into working and you start to accumulate bills, right? And then you have to find that job that makes more money, right? Because you're now,
Mhm.
as Biggie Small
You're
said,
tapped out.
listen, and more money, more problems, right?
Yeah, that's the
That
truth.
famous line from Biggie and Diddy, right? More
Yep.
money, more problems. And
Yes.
so I look at people that made less than myself in corporate
Mhm,
America, right? And they were
mhm.
surviving and they were going on trips and they were
And they
doing
were
amazing.
happy.
Yes. And I'm thinking to
That's
myself,
the key thing. They
they're
were happy.
yes, and they're shutting the computer off at 5 o'clock, and they were doing the electric slide, and they were doing the moonwalk out the door, right?
Out the door,
And what am I
yes.
doing? I'm still there 7 o'clock at night, and then when I leave out of there, I have that phone attached to my hip, and I'm getting emails and I'm getting calls and all that still, right? And
Mhm,
so I'm not saying I don't have that now, right?
mhm, mhm.
I am working harder than I probably ever worked in corporate America.
Yes.
But you know what? It's mine. I'm
Mhm.
being creative that finds my happiness. I'm sitting
Yeah.
up watching videos at 3 o'clock in the morning, YouTube on how to perfect my craft, right? Oh my God, I saw something earlier and oh my gosh, that's so cool. Let me sit here
Uh-huh.
and figure it out, right?
Right.
But guess what? At 10 o'clock, I can get up and go take a nap if I'm tired because it's on my time now.
Isn't that wonderful?
Honey, I can't even tell you.
Isn't that wonderful?
It is
And I mean, I totally
exciting.
get it because when I left education, I left because I was sick, right? And I struggled a bit for a couple of years,
Yes,
after the savings were spent on medical bills and,
yes,
just living my everyday life because,
yes,
the paycheck stopped. I struggled, but in that struggle, I found happiness. Like
yes,
I didn't realize how much I was missing out on
yes,
in this life through
yes,
that struggle. So sometimes God puts you down
yes,
to build you back up,
yes,
right? So now I have a whole different perspective on just my life in general.
yes,
Not that it probably wasn't good when I was working, like you said, with the phone attached. You always, as a teacher, you're always correcting papers or
yes,
creating lesson plans, or you. People think it's just when you go to work and then that's it. No, most teachers will tell you they're up until the middle of the night correcting papers,
yes,
making tests, doing lesson plans. You're spending your weekends doing that,
yes.
holidays. It's a lot of work.
It's a lot.
So I get it. And then when I left, I thought I had a quality of life as a teacher. But then I realized, wait a minute. There's a whole big world out here and a different lifestyle altogether that I
Yes,
could have been having. Like, it gives me anxiety to even think about ever having to go back to a 9 to 5 job. So I hustle in my business, and you're right. You work harder for yourself. Sometimes I have pulled all nighters
yes,
to get work done. But at the end of the day, I was still happy.
yes.
Isn't that weird?
But you know what, Tracy? What makes yes, it is weird, right? But
Mhm.
for me, what makes me so excited, what makes me so excited, right? Even if I'm pulling all nighters, in the end, this is a product. This is what's going out to my customer, and
Mhm.
not this mug per se, right?
Mhm.
But they're getting something tangible that I sit
Yes.
there and I look and I say, I created that.
Mhm.
Like that's what's exciting for me. And then to hear someone call me and say, oh my God, I received it. It is amazing. Like pictures don't do it justice. And so it's weird because I was sitting here, before our call, and I'm working on something. And it's funny because it's for my brother out in California. And he said, hey, can you make me some placemats? I have an African theme going on in my living room, in my dining room, but I
Mhm.
want customized placemats with my name
Oh wow.
for my dining room. And Tracy, I sat here and I did something like in 2 seconds and I sent him the
Mhm.
picture and I said, hey, let me know if this is kind of like what you're thinking. He
Mhm.
said, that is amazing. I said, really? I said, like, it took me 2 seconds. That made me feel like I was like on top of the world. I was like, wow. So it's
That's
something
because you're living in your purpose now,
I
right? So all
am.
that creative energy that was being suppressed because you were so stressed out in your corporate job is
Yes,
now blooming and blossoming and is
yes,
able to find its place.
yes.
Yeah.
And
Mhm.
I wake up in the morning with a new pep in my step,
All
right?
right.
And that's the thing that, So the question, I go back to the question that you asked at the top of the time we started conversating, and you
Mhm.
asked, what is it, something that you would tell a person, right, about
Mhm.
this? It's the excitement,
Mhm.
again, of getting and leaving out of corporate America, and what drove me to that. And what drove me to that is I couldn't do both.
Right.
And I was mentally and physically drained. And so
Mhm.
this, although I am a late bloomer starting my business per
Mhm.
se full time,
Mhm.
I'm at my all-time high in happiness.
That's awesome. Yeah. I
And
think
about
somebody
this,
needs to hear
Tracy,
that. Someone who's listening to this
yes,
right now needs to hear that. And it's going to bless someone because I know, like I said before, a lot of times people want to step out, but they're so afraid to leave the security. And
yes,
I mean, I want to tell anybody who's listening, if you are afraid, set yourself up, give yourself a timeline. Excuse
yes,
me. Give yourself a timeline to get out of corporate,
yep,
to get out of your job.
yep,
Try to put a little bit more effort. You may be tired,
yep,
but put more effort into building the business,
mhm,
getting the business out there, acquiring more customers, keeping in contact with your customers, and give yourself that timeline to get out of corporate and into and into your desired goal, your desired profession.
yeah. And Steve Harvey, I listened to him, and he said to me, or I say he said to me, like we're
Mhm.
personal friends, right? Like, I call Steve Harvey every day. Steve
That's
Harvey's
fine.
Steve Harvey's my best friend. I hope he hears it, right? And so maybe he'll send me some funds to fund my business. Maybe he'll hear your podcast. But
I
Steve
know.
Steve Harvey said, millionaires don't sleep. And
Mhm.
that's always resonated with me, right? So, the person that is tired and goes and sleeps and says, yeah, my business is still going to flourish, or, my corporate
Mhm.
America job is going to flourish, and, I won't put that much effort into my business. Again, millionaires don't sleep. They
Mhm.
hustle, and they have that hustle mentality. And I say the other thing about, if you're scared to step out, true, what you said, build that on the side, but
Mhm.
also build a sustainable
Yes.
and talk to everybody. Again,
Mhm.
I didn't know you from Adam when we went to that workshop, right? But I'm
No.
that person. I'm going to talk to everybody,
Mhm.
and I have that personality, and that's one of the things that I will talk to anyone and
Mhm.
everyone, in the grocery store, at the deli counter,
Mhm.
at Walmart. I talk to everyone. And yesterday I was at the salon, and there was two women I've never met in my entire life, and we just started talking. I handed out so many business cards yesterday. It was
Mhm.
ridiculous. So continue to build a network, and don't be shy to step out there and have a conversation with the person you don't even know.
Right. I think what you said, I want to, iterate on it, is that networking, networking is going to be your key to
Yes.
success. The more people you meet, the more connections you get, the more your business will grow and thrive. The
Yes.
more people you get yourself in front of, the more your business will grow and thrive.
Yes.
If you don't mind me saying, even when I reached out to you, immediately you said yes, you would come on the show. And then once you got here, you said, oh my God, I've been so nervous all day.
I
But
have.
being nervous didn't stop you from coming here because
No.
you understand the benefit of being here,
Yes.
right? It's going to put you in front of people who have never seen you before, right? Therefore, expanding the awareness of your business. So
Yes. Yes.
sometimes you have to step out scared. You just got to
Yes.
do it. You think I like coming here? I keep telling people that I don't like this, but this is another form of me. I like interviewing people, don't get me wrong, but the whole camera thing, like when I get off here, I'm going to have such a headache because the lights mess with me. I suffer from severe
Okay.
migraines, and the
Okay.
lights really mess with my eyes. So I'm going to have a headache. I know I'm going to have to go lay down,
Yeah.
but it's something I've committed to doing. I like putting entrepreneurs on display, giving them a different platform to come on, tell their stories, expose their businesses to another clientele. And in essence, I get exposed to another clientele too, because you will share this with your audience as
Yeah.
well. So it's a win-win situation for both people.
Yes.
So tell us, what type of items do you offer at Two Girls LLC? We know you make the cups, beautiful cup,
Thank
right?
you.
Do
Thank
you
you.
do the artwork yourself, or do you have a graphic designer?
No. So Two Girls LLC, really, what my motto is we turn your vision into reality. And
Okay.
so I make cups, I make t-shirts, I make placemats, like I just said about my brother.
Yeah.
I make face masks. I
Do you
do
have anything that you can show us besides the
uh
cup?
let's see here.
Like within your hand
I
reach?
know, within reaching distance, right? Um Here, so excuse me as put my body into that, but here's a t-shirt.
Oh,
So
nice.
so it says, I speak my mind because it hurts to bite my tongue.
Yeah. Ain't that the
Right.
truth?
So yeah, so that's, so t-shirts and face mask, and I do
Mhm.
balloon archways, I do balloon, it's called balloon sculpting. So
Uh-huh.
anything
Okay.
that customize, I do. Um
Mhm.
and
And
so
is the website www.2girls LLC?
yes, and it's two, the number two, and GURLZ.
LLC at the end?
Yes, LLC. So the number two and
Yeah.
GURLZ LLC.com.
Okay.
So yeah, no,
I
that's
think I made that. No, I need to
yeah,
correct that.
yeah. But the other thing, while you're correcting that, one of the
Mhm.
things that you did talk about, stepping out on faith, I did it, right? And
Right.
I do not have millions of dollars in the bank. It's GU.
Oh, GU. Oh,
Yep,
Lord.
GURLZ
Okay.
LLC. So I don't have millions of dollars in the bank, right?
Mhm.
So I did step out on faith. And then, the biggest thing about benefits, right? You talked about that. People are scared that, yeah, that's correct. People are
Mhm.
scared that, oh my gosh, I don't have benefits. Let me tell you something. There's something called the Affordable Care Act, right? That was
Right.
put into place. And just as much as you pay for benefits in corporate America, you'll pay that
Mhm.
or less in benefits for um, the private exchange benefits. So there,
Yes.
so there are benefits, and so when you walk outside of corporate America and you feel that I don't have that security of benefits anymore, you do,
Mhm.
and the Affordable
Exactly.
Care Act is there to support
Right.
you through your endeavors.
Yeah, I totally agree. And
Yeah.
I know that was one of my biggest things, was leaving the health insurance behind, and then retirement. I've set up my own retirement account, right? I have a money market, I have a
Yeah.
401k, I have a Roth IRA. None of those things of which I had when I worked for corporate, right? So I have all of those on my own. So my business pays those,
Yep.
right? And then I have health insurance, and I have life insurance that I bought through independent companies.
Yes.
So I still have all of the benefits
Yes.
that I have with a corporate job, but it's just that my business now pays that because my business is that corporate job for me, right?
Yes.
So I just really want people to understand that you are not confined, or you're not imprisoned by the benefits that you think your corporate job offers. Those
Exactly.
same benefits can be afforded to you as an entrepreneur
Yes.
at
And
any stage of your entrepreneurship.
yeah, and people will say, "Oh, well, they're not matching." Well, you can match your own self,
You
right?
can match
So
yourself.
you can match yourself, right? So there's no, I mean, yes, we make excuses, right? Because again,
Yeah.
it's a huge leap of faith. And when I left that day, I made a post on Facebook, and it
Mhm.
was the longest post probably I've ever written, right? Besides my thesis for my master's degree. But it was pictures of me shutting my office door. It was pictures of me walking out the building. It was me taking a picture of myself with the sign behind me saying, "My last day in corporate America." And I'm
Mhm.
stepping out on faith, right? Because I trust that I now am the owner of my success or my failure.
Mm-hmm.
And if you're not
Yes.
confident in yourself, then I tell you, stay in
Yeah.
corporate America, because guess what?
Yeah.
My business will fail if I allow it to fail.
Absolutely.
So
Absolutely.
that you have to have confidence in yourself. Otherwise, don't do a business.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And
Stay.
I think you hit on a really good point. You have to have the confidence in yourself. You have to have self-discipline,
Mm,
because there's no job that's waking you up like, oh, if I don't get into work on time, my boss is going to deduct some monies from my paycheck, or he or she's gonna write me up.
yep.
You are your boss.
Yes.
You have to learn how to self-regulate. If
Yes.
you don't get up, the lights are going to get turned off. If
Yes.
you don't get up and get it done,
Yes.
guess what? The mortgage or the rent won't be paid this month.
Yes.
The car is going to get repossessed. And a
Yes.
lot of people have gone through that, where
Yes.
they thought they were hustling
Yep.
until things started disappearing. And then they were like, wait a minute, my hustle isn't right. I really need to get down in the trenches and hustle. I need to be tired sometimes.
Yes.
Because sometimes you get into it and you get comfortable. You're like, ooh,
Yes.
I can do what I want to. I can go where I want to. I can, and you don't realize you're not putting enough energy into actually working for your business.
Yes.
So that is a place where you don't want to catch yourself.
Yeah. And I started a 90-day, like I call it a blog, right? But I did the first 30 days, the first 60 days, and then March 4th will be the 90 days.
Mm-hmm.
And really, the first 30 days were pretty funny, right? So if anybody follows me on LinkedIn, they can follow me on LinkedIn, Jan Edwards-Sykes, on LinkedIn, and they can read my story, or I have a blog that they can read it too. But the first 30 days was really just, getting that discipline, because the first day after, that Monday after leaving corporate America, I got up again, pep in my step, walked into my office here, and then like a few minutes as I sat down, I said, I think I'm going to go have hot chocolate now. I think I'm going to go do this, right? Oh, let me take a nap. And then I got back up and I did a little bit something else, but the discipline wasn't there.
Right.
And so if you're not disciplined, I had to say to myself, listen, sister, okay. And I had my prior manager laughing. She said, how's it going? I said, well, let me tell you, the manager had to have a meeting with the employee to say, listen, you better start doing what you need to do or you're going to get fired.
Yes.
So the manager had to have a manager conversation with the employees. So, honey, I understand the whole discipline thing. Yeah.
And that's a real fact, because I've had to have many conversations with myself. Girl, I would fire you, right? If you were not the owner, you would be fired right now. Get it together. So, and we all go through that. Ebbs and flows, ebbs and flows. I mean, sometimes you're like working, and then you may fall into some type of, something happens and then you're like not doing your job. But I mean, I think it's the same thing when you're working on a regular job anyway.
Of course.
So, but you just have to, again, learn how to self-regulate.
Yes.
So, Jan, I mean, this was such an interesting conversation. We could just go on and on and on, but we do have to wrap up. So I just want to tell people where to go again and find you. You can find Jan. Her name of her company is Two Girls LLC. I had an I at the beginning, so it's GURLZ LLC, and the number 2, of course, in front. You can follow her, and I suggest that you do, so you can see all of the pictures, beautiful pictures of the things that she does in her business. It's absolutely amazing. I have a question to ask you before we leave.
Sure.
To just make sure. So you can follow her on Instagram. It's at Two Girls LLC. On Facebook, same thing, at Two Girls LLC. Or you can go ahead and visit her website at www.twogirlsllc.com. And for those of you listening to the podcast, again, that's www.GURLZLLC.com. So Jen, do you ship?
I do.
Okay, so just wanted to make sure. So not the fact that Jan lives in Connecticut is not going to hinder you from actually purchasing from her. You can go to her website. She'll ship your items out to you. with the same flair that she would if you lived in Connecticut and she was
Yes.
delivering it to you.
Yep.
So, all right, Jan, again, thank you so much
Thank you.
for being my guest today. I truly, truly appreciate
Thank you
it.
for having me. This is exciting. I was like all nervous. I was like, oh my God. Oh my
No,
God,
I
this
tell you,
is
it's just a conversation, just like we would talk at any other point in time.
yes. So thank you so much, Tracy, for having me. And I look forward to working with everyone. Please visit my website. It's not an e-commerce site right now. It's just a pretty site with pretty
Mhm.
pictures. But, my phone number's there. My contact information is on the website. And again, if you reach out to me, I'll let you, follow me on my blog, and I'll let you follow me on my LinkedIn account, because I am doing a 30, 60, 90-day kind of transition from, I call it corp to crafting.
All right. All right, everyone. Thank you again for joining us today on Morning Tea. And